Big black circles. Thanks, Robert. That was sweet. You know, it's interesting. Robert's process was very similar to the creation of this. And you talk about vision and I get a lot of credit, post with a lot of photos, but I have to tell you that building this business was, it all happens in small little, my own small little aha moments, just trying to, as a businessman, trying to build the business, trying to sell more product, touch more people, but do it in a way that actually benefits people in a meaningful way. You know, I was sitting down there looking at these products, and every one of these was one little moment. I was watching the video before, and that Decide, Commit, Succeed tagline was just like a little moment. I was listening to the radio, and somebody was talking about motivation and breaking it down. And I was like, well, what's the motivation behind fitness and about achieving anything? And well, you got to make a decision. That's the first thing. You got to make that decision, and then, well, but that can be light. And you got to commit to that decision. And those two things, you join those two things, and hopefully when you're deciding and you're committing to something that is meaningful enough and has enough thought and prospects to it, and enough marketability to it, that it actually, or in this case, will get you the physical results that you will actually ultimately succeed. Anyway, all these things are a part of just a little bit of an idea, and frankly, it's pretty selfish. Power 90 was a product that came out of me wanting to get in shape, working with this friend of mine, Tony Horton, in his 2-bedroom apartment. That evolved to saying, hey, we're going to develop a full 90-day program, and John and I went through the program with Tony. But here's the thing: I am not a fitness guy. I prefer to be in shape than not be in shape, but I also prefer to not work out when I have a little break. I also prefer to eat an entire pizza if I'm going to sit in front of them and have a good time, and that tastes good, and beerology, I want that. That sounds awesome. So people ask me, in fact, not bragging, but just to put it in context, I got interviewed by this guy from Nightline when we were at the summit. We had this big interview, and I think it's going to be on this week. He said, well, what's the hook here? Why is this working? And, you know, what's so special? And I said, I think what's special is this company is not about the fitness enthusiast. It's run by a couple of guys that don't really love working out that much, which means we're constantly trying to figure this out for ourselves. We're trying to figure out, how do I trick myself into working out? How do I trick myself into eating better and not eating the whole pizza and not having all the candy, you know, all that stuff, right? Coke and Pepsi or whatever. I mean, it's very easy to be gratified by how good everything tastes. So for me, Power 90 and then again P90X, the only reason I was able to put together 90 days of fitness was because I knew my before and after photos were going to be used in an infomercial that might make me some money. I had a financial reason to do it. Now, how many people are here for the first time, that are here considering being a coach right now? Okay, so for you, you know, people ask me, what's the number one reason? In fact, it was on Twitter, I think somebody asked me the other day, what's the number one reason to become a coach? All right, you ready? The number one reason to become a coach is the reason that works for you. Because whether it's you want to pay that mortgage, or you want that financial motivation to get in shape, again, I would have never gotten in great shape. I could have never put 90 days together with Power 90 or P90X if I didn't know that I had a financial incentive. In fact, that's one of the reasons that John and I decided to go into network marketing in the first place, because we were selling millions of dollars a week of product through infomercials. It was going very well. But millions of dollars a week of sales does not equate to tens of thousands of people having success. Just like Chuck's story, many people were taking that thing, and look, it does conveniently slide right under the bed. That's awesome. And that's where it stays. So we were like, how do we get more people to pull it out from under the bed and do it? And then we started to look, well, how did we manage to finish this program? That financial incentive. What if we gave people a financial incentive? Because the more people that succeed with the program, because we know these things work, we're doing something very unique here, and that is selling hard work on TV. Like people, I remember, I've been in the infomercial business for years, and I remember when I first told some of the other guys, you know, peers in the industry, well, we were going to sell Power 90, and then, of course, when we did P90X, they were like, you're absolutely crazy. That'll never sell. It looks way too hard. You need to show people that they can put this belt on. And I feel it working. Look, right? So that's the model that works to the industry. We said, you know what? And what I said was, there's got to be 1 million people out there who are like me, that would never buy that belt, or never buy this ab swing and do her thing. They would just go, they would laugh at it, it's a joke, or whatever that thing is. And they laugh at it, and it's hysterical, and, but you're not like, hey, I'm gonna take this serious, I'm gonna do this for a year or two, and my new lifestyle is gonna be this thing. You know? Conveniently in a suitcase. Let me take that on the road. Do it on the plane. No. So there had to be 1 million people out there like me that would see people working hard on TV and go, you know what, that seems to make sense. It seems to be well structured, and 90 days, that's a good horizon. I would do that. So we went for it, right? And so we're doing something hard. We're selling something that looks hard. And it's hard to get people to see that all the way through. And we found that it was not so hard to sell it, because somebody like Chuck would buy it and go, someday I'm going to do that, slide it under the bed. Well, we needed to get it out from under the bed, because the more Chucks and Roberts and Melissas and Charlene's that we get using these programs and then being product of the product, as we say in the game plan, then the more people around them will go, hey, what are you doing? Because that seems to work. Because I'm done with this thing and the ab swing and the belt thing. They all failed for me. They're all being sold at the yard sale. I want something that actually works. So the more success that we have means the more people around them would be successful. So it wasn't just about, hey, we're going to save the world. That's not what we were thinking. It happened to be that there's 200 million people in this country overweight or obese. That's an enormous market. Right now, I think it's an $18 billion market, the fitness industry, that services basically 30 to 45 million people that go to the gym. I think that by making the living room or the basement a more compelling place and gratifying place to work out, there's the chance that we could actually get a nice chunk of that $18 billion, or expand the market and take it up to $25 billion, right? Ooh, wait a minute, 25 minus 18, that's $7 billion. I'd like my piece of that. So, we start this network marketing business. And when I say coach or prospective coach, the most important reason for you to get into it is, the reason that works for you is because I want you to have success with it. I don't want to just sell you something. In fact, I would prefer, if you're not serious about it, if you want to think about it, if you want to just let me watch what happens out there, I'd rather you not commit to something that you really aren't going to see through, because that's going to, as they say, scorch the earth behind you. Because I don't want you to have a bad experience with Beachbody. I'd rather you just wait and see. But if you're inclined to get involved, I want you involved as soon as possible, because we do have an enormous opportunity. And what's great is the opportunity here is a combination of economic opportunity for you, economic opportunity for the country, and an enormous, when I say economic opportunity for the country, it costs us $500 billion a year to service the obese population. It costs an obese couple $7,500 a year just to break even on the additional expenses that it takes to be obese, okay? So there's an enormous economic opportunity for us to be successful here, and an enormous opportunity to have a dramatic impact on the health of our country. So I do want you to get involved as soon as possible, but I want you to get involved for reasons that are important to you. Isabel, by the way, a big round of applause for the coordinator of Shakeology. Quick little story. I'm going to probably lose my place. I was talking, what was I just talking about? No, I wasn't.
Talking about if you commit for real.
Commit for real. Okay, well, all right. Interesting. I'll get back there. So, interesting little story. So, when I was in Chicago, we were dating. We were dating then. That was our first trip anywhere. It was romantic. And but for any of you who've read Isabel's background, world-class trainer, world-class nutritionist, people fly from all over the world. She's blushing right now. I won't look at her. She's like, but truly world-class. She's like the nutritional fitness Nazi. I can't have her in the room and work out with her at the same time, because I'll be like doing something like this, and she's like. She's gotten much better, not really. But, so, she knows her stuff. So here we were. She had nothing to do with the company at all. We weren't even thinking about Shakeology at this point. And she meets Robert. And she starts to, and Robert, you said something about, you had a question about creatine, about making it, the absorption of it, and some issues that you were having with creatine. And she starts to just scribble stuff down. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, he needs to take this, and he needs to take some of this, and what's the brand of the yarrow? And she seeks him out and just is like, you need this. I mean, she'll cut right to the chase with you, and you'd be like, you need this. When she was up here, or when she walked in and she heard some of the stories of people saying that they love Shakeology, and Shakeology has had a dramatic impact on their lives, she just leaned over to me and was like, that feels good to me every time I hear that. She is the real